Hi guys, my name is iPhong and welcome to iTalk. Happy International Women's Day, the 8th of March 2026. I hope you girls out there are having fun during that event, but also if you planning to go outside, please stay safe, alright? I don't want any one of you girls get hurt. So to be honest, I'm not gonna lie, I was planning not to make any videos for this week Sunday at all, because as you can see from the yesterday videos, when I read the visual novels Actually My Dear Moments, I didn't feel well. I sneezed in the middle of the recording, and for those who wondering how I'm feeling right now, not 100% well yet, but I will recover, I promise, alright? But there's an important topics I really want to talk about, because it make everyone in Vietnamese crashed out. For those who don't know what is going on, there is AFC, the Asian Football Cup for women. I don't think there is under anything. I don't see it's listed numbers anything. But there was a match between the Japanese women soccer team versus the Indian women's soccer team in the group stage, and congratulations to Japan's women's soccer team. You defeated the Indian women's soccer team with a surprising result, 11-0. That is absolutely insane. There's rarely a soccer match being like that. And I know that the whole country in Japan are absolutely happy about the results. However, after you hearing this, I know there's going to be Japanese people get really upset of what the Vietnamese commentators are saying. So we all know that we watch AFC, the Asian Football Cups, on YouTube. Yeah, it's on official channels, and it's legally to watch, to be honest. So the reason to lie, the reason is correct. The Japanese women's soccer team won Indians women's soccer team 11-0. However, there's gonna be a localization, because not everyone outside Australia can understand English. Of course, the AFC Asian Football Cups for women in 2026 was hosted in Australia, by the way. Not in Saudi Arabia though, in Australia. And in Vietnam, we speak Vietnamese, but a lot of people in Vietnam also speak English as well. However, the localization, of course, they do have a place to watch legally, and that place is called VTV. Or for those who are outside of Vietnam confused what VTV is, you can just view them as VTV, and it's TV channels that represent Vietnam. But the commentators there made a very huge mistakes that can make a whole Japan get angry too. I know that currently right now the whole Vietnam's getting very upset of what TVs in Vietnam are doing, the VTVs one are doing. But again, at the end of the day, we're just citizens. There's not much that we can do. Just only criticisms on the internet. I can show VTV a lot. But at the end of the day, like just a citizen, not all of us own VTV. So yeah, we try our best to cancel VTV, but I'm guessing that yeah, I don't think VTV gonna take constructive criticism too well. So Japan's audience, I really need you. If you understand English, then please help Vietnamese us out to cancel VTV. Alright, because what they said on TV is the Indian women's soccer team won 11-0 against the Indian women's soccer team. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean the Indian women's soccer team won against the Indian women's soccer team? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm not joking. There's a footage out there. Thank you so much, Tommy Archive, for clip that footage. But I'm not gonna show this in this video because VTV has the audacity to take down copyright. I'm not gonna lie though, like it happens to Tommy Archives, I think. VTV has the audacity to copyright takedowns their mistakes, to hide their mistakes. The whole Vietnamese people, the whole country in Vietnam, I think except VTVs, are crashing out right now. How can VTV can get even lower? Because it's not the first time they messed up. And I think I'm gonna feel bad for any one of Vietnamese kids using YouTube Kids as well. Because a lot of countries are looking down on Vietnam because the governments in Vietnam support AI. And I'm not gonna lie though, like everyone has to agree that AI is the future. It's gonna replace humans at any time. It's just sooner or later. But at the same time, the majority of humans, us, agree that we cannot let AI replace us. We have to use our own brain to create something instead of having AI give you all the answers and then hey, it's a easy job hunts for you. Oh, is an easy homework done for you. But I cannot believe that the governments in Vietnam support AI to the point that VTV, again for those who live outside of Vietnam, it's VTV. VTV is the TV channel that represents Vietnam's, by the way. I cannot believe they have the audacity to create cartoons. I think the majority of it are using AI. And I seen a clip of it. I haven't seen the whole cartoons. It's in Vietnamese, by the way, but I seen the clip of it. It's shown on TV and it's created by AI, and you cannot believe how bad it was. Usually a buffalo has 4 legs, right? 4 feet, 4 legs. But they add 2 extra legs to use it as the arm and hand. So you turn out buffalo becoming 6 legs, 6 limbs. Really? And I know you are patriotic enough to make cartoons that having a topic speaking about the country, speaking about Vietnam. But VTV, have you ever done some research? Why did you let AI creating a characters wearing China dress when you raising Vietnamese flags? What are you doing? Vietnam, we have áo dài, which means the long dress. You can at least let the character in the cartoon to wear that. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people would misunderstand that only female characters wearing outside the long dress, the traditional Vietnamese long dress. But boys, men, you can also wear long dress as well. There are outside there are Vietnamese traditional long dress that is also designed for men, for boys as well, and there is nothing wrong with wearing the traditionals outside long dress in Vietnam as a boy, as a man. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're making a cartoon and you're letting AI messed up. I don't know what to think anymore. But also, it's not even worse. Also, the storyline. You call the titles. You promoting the festival of having buffalo fighting each others. In Vietnam, there's actually a festival that having two buffaloes. They're fighting each others, and again, I can say that it's a bad cultures in Vietnam. I'm not gonna lie, it's a long time culture in Vietnam, but I can say it's a bad culture because gambling is involved, and everybody knows that gambling is banned in Vietnam. I know a lot of Vietnamese in Las Vegas though, they are gambling a lot in USA. And they can escape with that because they're not in Vietnam. But in Vietnam, you cannot gambling. If you gambling, you'll be sent into prison. You'll go to jail. Again, I don't see what's the point on having a culture, on having two buffalo fighting each other. Also at the same time, there's also a culture having two chicken fighting each other. I feel like there's no point on having that culture at all, but I'm curious to see why that happens. So a lot of people want to check it out for their curiosity, why that culture happened in the first place and why the culture still lives on today. But that cartoon made by AI, the storyline is not related to how the buffalo fights culture was going on at all. The storyline is about the tiger got tied up on a tree and having humans to burn the tiger. I really don't get it. Like, if you name the titles of the cartoons, make sure that the storyline follows that. Alright? You don't make the storylines unrelated to the title of the cartoon at all. I cannot believe that what the VTV has been doing in 2026. Last year, SEA Games hosted by Thailand, they did an awful job. But I cannot believe that VTV can do worse this year. The whole Vietnamese citizens in Vietnam are crashing out right now. I am not currently live in Vietnam, by the way. I live abroad. But also I think a lot of Vietnamese people outside of Vietnam as well, they are crashing out right now. I feel so bad for any Vietnamese people who currently lives in Japan right now, because there's a history between Japan's Vietnam in the past, and this mistake has nothing to do with what the histories of fighting for peace Vietnam versus Japan in the history past at all. There's nothing to relate about it. But I know 100% there's gonna be Japanese people would think that way, which it makes a lot of Vietnamese people really sad because a lot of people around the world really likes Japan's culture as well, and I really don't want that this big mistake ruins the relationship between countries. Another mistake that VTV has made is their Lunar New Year show that happens last month. And for those who don't know, in Vietnam, we use both the calendars of most of the people use around the world, but also the calendars that counts the moon. So it makes everyone have comfortable times to figure out the New Year's that everyone around the world has celebrate, but at the same time that the Lunar New Year's that most Asian celebrate later as well. But unfortunately, in 2026, in both the New Year's that everyone's currently having, but also in the Lunar New Year's, unfortunately, there is no annually comedy shows that have one of the comedians that currently working with the governments being there anymore, because I totally get it. The cast are getting old, the cast are very busy, and there's a lot of things to cover in 2025 that they cannot put all of them in the scripts papers. So totally understandable that there is no comedy shows that cover that. However, there's gonna be the Lunar New Year shows replaced it. But I really dislike when the scriptwriters puts the advertisements in their scripts. For example, like when you are doing acting on stage and then you suddenly, oh, we have this, go buy it. You did it on stage, you did it on TV, and then a few seconds later, and then poof, the show's gonna kick you out to the advertisements a lot of time. That ruins everyone's mood. And I feel like usually that the advertisements in between shows, they last maybe around 4 or 5 minutes. That took so long. So like everyone just turned off their TV already. They just there's no points anymore. Like I feel like VTV need to get their crap together. I'm not gonna lie, because there is no quality controls. Speaking of quality control, the Lunar New Year show is supposed to be celebrating Happy Lunar New Year or Happy New Year 2026, but you're shown on TV that is 2025. Like what the F? VTVs, you really need to check your staff, your editors needs more quality control. Please, you're doing way worse than One Punch Man Season 3 by having a Studio JC staff was responsible for. No, you keep getting lower. This is not okay. A lot of countries are already looking down Vietnam already, because the governments support AI. Because of that happenings, then VTV feel like oh, we're gonna use AI more. Even though in the past themselves they make the news saying that AI was trash, but still them. It's time to stop. It's time to stop, alright? Japanese audience, if you are here, help Vietnamese out, alright? Help Vietnamese citizens out, alright? Call out VTV to stop. A lot of people outside of Vietnam use Twitter a lot, right? Use Line a lot, right? That please call out hashtag cancel VTV or hashtag VTV apologize now. Please make that movement again. Everyone missed the time when a lot of Vietnamese people like gathering around, telling everyone to create Twitter accounts and creating hashtag apologize to Vietnams now of the incidents that during the pandemics and then having Korean people come to Vietnams. We've been trying our best to support and save peoples. I'm not gonna lie though, like for some reason Korean patients there being picky and they deny the food that we serve them. Okay, like it may be not suit your taste about our Vietnamese traditional food, then okay, we're gonna serve you what you feels like the home the most. We're trying our best to serve those Korean patients bibimbap, Korean rice, and as well kimchi. But again, the Korean patients, they said no. So like, what do you mean? So yeah, the ending of that story is just Korean patients being sent back to Korea. And then a lot of Vietnamese people, the power of the internet, they're telling each other to create the Twitters and hashtag apologize to Vietnams now. And that brings the relationships between Vietnam and Korea becoming unite. I'm not gonna lie. Except those Korean patients anyway, but again, not all Korean peoples are bad. I know there's something's going on right now, but between Korean versus the rest of the Asian countries, because they keep looking down on other Asian countries. But in the past, Korean citizens, they did better. So let's do it again. Alright, let's do it again. So using the power of the internet to cancel the wrong thing. So VTV, you need to get the crap together. Apologize to Japan now. That's right. Hashtag apologize to Japan now. I'm not gonna lie, that's a good hashtag. You cannot make a big mistake like that. Especially it's on TV. You cannot do that. Alright? So, VTV, you need to have a quality control and make sure that the next soccer match, next sport match, next basketball match, next tennis match, next badminton match, you need to commentate better and try your best to make sure that the legally site much better than the illegally site. Prove the citizen that. Please. That's it for now. See ya.